Night. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. It's so nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Just listening to your most recent record, which is really great.
Thank you.
I like it a lot. I was just showing some friends because they're like, "What are you doing? Who are you talking to?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Well, this is who I'm talking to. She's a really good singer."
Thank you.
Do you play any instruments on this album?
I do not. I
Just-
own a
just
guitar.
sing?
That's about it.
You just own. I own a couple guitars.
A couple. I feel like that's a big understatement.
Yeah, I like guitar. Just singing though on the
Yes.
record
Yeah.
and writing the songs.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. And how long have you been doing that for?
Not very long at all.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to singing, I have been singing all my life, I guess. I just love music, and so I've always sung along to songs and things like that.
Oh, okay.
But I also was in church choir and did choir in school for a couple years, and I was in a spoken word organization in college, so I did that for a little bit. So I've been in music, I guess, technically for a very long time, but more professionally, maybe a little over a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's remarkable
Thank
because the record sounds great. You sound great.
Thank you.
You definitely have some background with speaking or singing because I was like, there's no way you could sound that good if it's just like, I'm just going to see if I could do this thing called music.
Yeah, no, not that. But I guess it's been cooking over the years, but never seriously. Yeah, until now.
What made you want to do it seriously now?
I really feel like, I don't know, I just got a push from God, I guess, because this kind of started pandemic times, and so I guess a lot of things changed, not drastically, but that's when I first locked my hair, and then I started to get more into the creative things that I really want to do.
You say locked your hair?
My locks, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I started getting into music maybe it was probably maybe May-ish of 2020. And the producer who worked on my project, I worked with him for the entire project, and so he kind of started me into making music. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
And anything in particular motivate you to want to go for it?
I guess I wanted to create music at some point. I didn't know when that would have been, and I guess that was when I originally thought of it. It was more so just for myself, I guess. Yeah, but I since I always have a love for music and I can sing, I was I would love to do that one day. But I didn't think that I thought I would take it so seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm starting to get into that more serious mode now.
Right. I saw your show at Cole's
Yes.
on July 2nd with
Yes.
Soul Dial.
Yes.
I would say they're playing DZ Fest. Actually,
I know. I saw on the poster. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah, you should come for free that weekend.
I will try to make.
It's
that
gonna be
for
really
sure.
fun. How many shows have you been playing, or did you play before or during the pandemic in any way?
No, I definitely had COVID anxiety. So when it came to open mics and stuff like that, I've done a couple, but it wasn't a lot because
Yeah.
I was just open mics and everybody going onto the same mic on the same stage and with shorter period of time just made me a little anxious. But I'm starting to get out of that for sure.
Yeah, you're here, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I've done a couple open mics, and I've done I wouldn't say shows, full blown shows, but I've done a couple of songs where I'm the sole performer, at Gallery Guichard, is a place that I work with. So I've done a couple of shows there. But yeah, that's the extent of my career.
Not many.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. If I showed someone that record, what is the name of the record?
Cycles.
Cycles. And if I showed someone that, they'd be like, oh, this person sounds like they've been playing their whole life. And
Thank you.
That's interesting. And have you been getting good feedback from it?
I have. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of good feedback and just a lot of I feel good conversations have come out of making that album. Since then, I feel I've had a lot of good conversations with people about music and just life in general and my development as an artist. And people see a lot in like my ability, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And are there other creative avenues you go down in life besides being a musician?
I'm a graphic designer. So I went to school for graphic design.
Oh, nice. What university or school?
I went to U of I.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I started in like my sophomore year of high school. I went to Lane Tech for high school. And my mother actually introduced me to graphic design. And then I started taking classes in high school, kept going the entire 3 years, the sophomore to senior year. Loved my teacher. She was amazing. And so she kind of like sparked that like desire to do design for me. So yeah, I went to college for it, and I have my own business now. So there's that.
That's awesome. What's the name of the business?
Mega Graphics Design.
Okay.
Yeah.
So graphic design, music, any other things?
I am getting into modeling.
Okay.
That is a active pursuit. But yeah, it's definitely a lot more difficult than people might think, you know?
Yes. I have found myself talking to a lot of models recently. I don't know how. And yeah, I keep realizing how much harder it is. Even just the act of doing it, the intention behind it, the posing. Like, it's almost like acting where someone like, how could you just pretend to be something else? It's like, how hard could it be to model? You just sit there and pose. Like, do you know how bad people are at taking photos? Like, really bad. Like, okay. And they get all ready and there's like
right. And then you see the picture and it's like,
how
what?
you, like when you look at a model be themselves and then pose, it's like they changed into a person a million miles away. It's like a completely different personality, persona. So it's this weird headspace to get into. You have to like look a certain way and apart, do certain poses that accentuate certain features of the clothes or your body. It's a little bit more than what people would think. And it seems like modern day modeling, if we're not talking about like Victoria's Secret, like people always go to that.
Yeah.
It's like people model like the clothes we're wearing right now.
Right, exactly.
For like every company, right?
Exactly.
And you just have to have like some type of unique natural pose to yourself. And it's not always based on like the size of your breast or butt, like in a female situation.
Right.
Like what people would think of.
Right.
It's not always based on these features. It's sometimes based on maybe just your height, your skin complexion, the way your face might be looking with the clothes, like your hair. There's so many factors, right?
It is.
Yeah. So what have you been learning about it?
I've like really just started. So I guess my interest in it came, I guess, from social media a little bit, just because I have done self-portrait photography. So so being a graphic designer, I love photo editing. And then like actually taking photos is just like, I don't know, it's a fun process. So I guess I've more recently been learning about like being an actual, like model and like learning about the different like poses and like the intention behind all of what you're doing, So I guess I'm getting more into like the hardcore ideologies behind it more than just like, oh, I like my outfit, so let me, take pictures, So yeah, that's mostly what I'm learning. I'm just trying to get more deep into it.
And what has drawn you to modeling?
So I used to be a dancer. I used to do ballet. And so I think it is kind of like dance in the sense that it requires movement and you have to be like you said, intentional behind your movement. But I feel like it's kind of performative in a sense, and I like that energy, but it is not like actively performative. It's kind of like more passive in a sense. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's like the main thing that drew me to it is like that motion. Yeah.
Interesting. Modeling gets a strange rep in pop culture, like, oh, just a model. You were just born with, it's so easy, you're just born with good genes. It's like, again, I think that's the old school way of thinking about what a supermodel. I think it's like supermodel things, not modeling of just clothes or, fashion wear people wear. So modeling and dance, do you still do ballet or any type of dance?
Not actively, but I really want to get back into dance. I just, haven't got the time yet.
It's such a great exercise.
It is. That's really, I like working out, but I really want to get back into dance for that reason specifically because because it doesn't feel like working out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like creating. So, yeah.
Right. I understand. I like to hike a lot. And when you do it with people, when you take in nature, after 5 miles, you worked out, but you don't realize it. You're like, oh, we just like hung out. It's very passive and it just happens. And that's what's fun about doing like a group hike. So any reason why you haven't gone into playing music, since you like to sing and obviously listen to music, probably even do a little bit of your mind going into the production? Maybe not a traditional producer, but anybody who sings and writes songs tends to have a little bit of producer in them, just by design. So any reason why you haven't decided to play music at all? Just
No,
isn't your
not
thing?
any particular reason. I took guitar lessons when I was in high school, and then it just kind of like faded, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's more so of a time commitment than anything. I would like to learn how to play an instrument, but yeah, I think it's more so just time commitment because it's a lot.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a fun hobby, but it is time consuming, especially like to get started out and really get your muscle memory and your fingers strong and get it under, control. Once you do that, like anything else, it starts to get easier and you start to learn faster as you do it. But it's fun. I think anything musical, I think everyone should try in some way. If it's singing, that works too. I personally don't sing well or can't sing well at all, but I record a lot of musicians, so I hear a lot of different voices. And I have such an appreciation for singing and what it takes, the practice, the care of your voice, especially a lot of touring musicians. It's very difficult. And it's a lot of work on your voice. It's underrated how much work it is to like keep your voice at a good level to sing night in, night out, over and over again, especially traveling, jet lag, different food, different water, all these things that are factors on someone's body and voice, People who just play an instrument, they don't understand. Where they might understand it is when they travel and they complain about like how the moisture or humidity messed with their guitar neck. It's like, imagine what it's doing to like someone's body and voice.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier before we recorded, you're from Chicago and you've been around different spots.
Yes.
Have some of the neighborhoods and upbringings, like what have those influences been for you being in Chicago, such a musical city?
It is.
Historically speaking and active now in music. I would argue one of the best in the world for music as far as all the genres that come from here or start here, all the people. You get a lot of new musicians every year because of all the universities and institutions that bring in 18, 19-year-old fresh minds ready to be creative. And I kind of like that it's not as cutthroat as like New York and LA. So you kind of get a little bit more wholesome.
Yeah.
What have been some of your biggest influences while being in Chicago, growing up here?
I feel like I don't know that I've necessarily been like drastically influenced by like neighborhoods. But I think, and I guess this is not specific to Chicago, but I do think that dance really influenced me in like how I grew up in general. I think it's very structured. And I think that I learned a lot of like structure and like being able to be an organized person and like then also learning how to be a creative person and like being free in that and stuff like that. I think dance has been it's a very good place to start, like a very good place to like ground you, know? But yeah, when it comes to like Chicago specifics, I didn't really get much into the music scene until I got back from college. And that's because I was dancing from 3 to 18.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I was like always in dance practice and stuff like that. So I never really got that much into music in the city. But when I got back from Chicago, I made a friend through another friend. And then he kind of introduced me to all of the different like music scenes and different open mics and things like that. And it kind of just blossomed from there. So, I mean, I guess currently, like my biggest influences, I guess more so like the open mics that happen in the city. Just because I've, been able to experience so many beautiful like voices, so many beautiful instruments. love live music, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think what I've mostly gotten is just like the experience and just being able to be around so many dope artists.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a city just riddled with artists.
Yeah.
And no one just does one thing.
Exactly. Nobody does.
No.
Like, I know somebody who, like, will play guitar and do photography and do videography and, like, you know, like all these different things.
It's almost a byproduct of being an artist. Like, you have to do at least three things because you can't make a living just doing one.
Right.
Or two.
Right.
so maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. But I also think it's a product of being a curious and creative person. I think you can't help but, well, you realize how adjacent a lot of these things are. They're similar. Like, I like playing guitar and I like music, so I got into like all the things that are instrument based within music and composing it. But I also like to record it because I like music and playing guitar and I want to capture it. But in recording, I also like listening to it and understanding how it all works and teaching it.
Yeah.
But that's also like what this podcast is. Like, these are microphones. I know how to do the audio and video because I like doing the audio and video for bands and music. I could also do it here. So I wouldn't have gotten to doing a podcast if I didn't already like music.
Yeah.
Like they start to intertwine production of some kind.
Yeah.
And you realize how many avenues you can go into, which is really great about it. But it gets a little exhausting trying to juggle a bunch. Like, what do you pick? What would you pick if someone's like, we will pay you to do this for a career? Which one would you pick out of the things you do? It could be dance, it could be graphic design, it could be singing and performing music.
I think just like immediate reaction would be design, because I think that it is the least fluctuating when it comes to, like, you know, being consistent and like having a stable pay or what have you. Yeah.
Just design.
Yeah.
And what is it about design? Like, what draws you to design?
Oh, that's a question. I really I don't know. I really enjoy colors. I really enjoy patterns. I really enjoy the like scientific, like mathematical side behind design. I don't know. I've always been drawn to like design. Like when I was younger, I used to be into like, or like one of my mother's friends used to call me like mega fashion because I used to really be into fashion, and I still am. But yeah, so like,
that's a nice jacket.
Thank you. It's technically a shirt. So
that's a shirt?
Yeah.
It's a thick shirt.
I know.
I couldn't wear that as a shirt.
I have. It works. But yeah, I've always been into design. I can't really pinpoint anything that will like be like, this is why. I think that I didn't know that I was into like graphic design specifically until I was introduced to it, because I didn't really know that it existed until I was introduced. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's just like the place where it like culminates and like, you know, sits, and that's like the place that I've chosen to express that side, because it's not like I'm not into fashion design necessarily. I don't think I would want to. But yeah, I don't know. Graphic design is like a great place because I guess that's where my like introverted side can sit and, you know, be calm and be able to still create and like do things for other people and stuff like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you find it therapeutic? The act of doing it?
Yeah. When I'm like actually in it, you know, and like trying to figure out what works best. Yes. I guess sometimes leading up to it, if it's like a stressful project or something like that, cannot be fun. But when I'm actually in it, yes, I love design.
And in the design world, do you prefer someone giving you projects to do, or do you prefer coming up with your own original ideas?
I prefer receiving projects.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think it's interesting too, because when it comes to music, like it's more easy for me to, I guess, be expressive in that sense. But when it comes to design, I feel like that's my place to like help other people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Interesting. So do you like to help other people in other ways, or is it?
I, in general, like want to help people in creative ways, in whatever way. So like, I was just helping a friend with their project that they're working on, music project, and so I was just helping with that. And I've like taken pictures for people sometimes, not professionally, but yeah, I've taken photos for people. I've done designs for people, stuff like that. So I really have a mind to be creative for other creatives.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You almost like to be a vessel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand. I feel the same way. That's why I do this. Like,
yeah.
For a vessel for you in this moment, for people to hear you and your story.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's always fun to just reach out to random people who don't know you. Like, you want to try this?
Right.
Not everyone brings, their mom
All right.
to inspect.
Yeah, just got to make sure.
People have especially when I ask a woman who's never met me, people have brought like their boyfriends or maybe a weapon, things like that. I'm like, hey, it's okay. Like, this place is safe. But I understand.
Yeah.
I don't blame anybody. I usually laugh at them like it's funny. It's a very harmless place. And so you do dance, ballet, you said? Mm-hmm. Now, how does one get into ballet? I'm fascinated by ballet. I know nothing about ballet.
Okay. So I started.
You're like, oh no.
So I'm pretty sure I started when I was 3. That's like the earliest that I can remember.
Yeah.
And I was in a more so of like a competition-ish type space. I don't remember the depths of it because like I was really young, but to what I can remember, I was in a group that was started in my church, and then we learned like ballet, tap. I believe we did hip hop and things of that nature. Don't know the depths of it. I really don't remember. But I do remember like all the costumes that we had to wear and like some of the songs that we like danced to. And then I believe around like 7 or so, I transferred to the place that I was at until I was 18. And that's where I got like really into like ballet. How did I get into it? I don't know.
You always did it?
Yeah. Like,
your parents put you in it?
I think that's what happened. I was just like put into it and then it just continued. And then because of that discipline and that like commitment to it, I just kept going. But yeah,
Any long-term effects on your legs or feet from that?
No. I didn't have any like big medical issues. I'm very grateful for that because I know a lot of people have.
Yeah. And that's just from being on your toes. Mm-hmm. So why does this art form still have that when it's been proven to be so harsh on people's bodies?
Beautiful.
I mean, yeah, it is. It is beautiful, but it's so destructive to people's feet.
Yeah, but I mean, anything that you love is destructive.
Oh, you think so?
I think so because I think that we, age and, whatever it is that you continuously use, it's going to age along with, the process. So, I mean, and I don't mean destructive in a bad way. I guess
right.
I guess
okay, because there's certain things that definitely hurt you a lot more than others.
Yeah. I mean that, like, even like when it comes to singing, for example, like it takes a lot to keep up your voice, but eventually your voice is going to not be as strong as it, was originally, So that's, I guess when I say that, I just mean the process of reusing certain things on your, body. It will eventually like, and when it comes to design, I have to be on the computer all the time, my hands. So like my hands hurt sometimes, So, I mean, but then it's like, what are you willing to commit to, So.
Yeah, it's the beauty. Do you work from home?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you probably have come to hone in on this discipline of like learning how to take breaks, maybe angle your computer certain ways, stand up, exercise, do stuff in between. Because like the classic office of like sitting for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours straight and just clicking and just sitting there like that. It's
weird.
Terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible for your back, your posture, your eyes, your neck, your mind, your body, everything. And lately I've been just stacking books really high, so my laptop screen is really like, so I'm like looking up at it, and it's been helping my neck and
Really?
back. Yeah.
Okay.
It looks hilarious. It looks really goofy. It's like a weird hodgepodge of books just like going up.
Yeah.
But it works really well. I've noticed a better posture. My neck doesn't hurt anymore. I don't have as much tension in my shoulders because like doing this, you're not really designed as a human to like bend over and look down at stuff for hours and hours and hours. Same thing with the clicking. I try to change up what I do every day, like breaks and do other things with my hands, and then go back to it. But what's your typical day? So you do your own work. It's like freelance work. You have your own business, so you kind of just get projects from companies and people and just...
Yeah, I have a lot of different things going on. But
that sounded really like stressful and just, oh, God.
It's not stressful. It's just I just do a lot of different things. That's all. Because I know, like,
I understand.
Yeah. So I have a job that is with a fitness company. I work that like it's a part-time position, so I do that. And then I also have a job at a store that is like an artistic kind of culture-y type store. So I do that as well. And then I also have my business. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's
I
a lot
understand.
of different things. Yeah.
So you're busy.
Yes.
You joke, well, thanks for finding time to be here on a
course.
Wednesday. Yeah, I understand the busyness. It's why I'm doing this at, night instead of like during the day or something, because I was editing, videos that I made down here all day. Do you find the juggling act of many different things, 3 different things, 4 different things, do you find it to like energize you and motivate you because it switches up and you're not stuck doing just one thing all day that might drain you? But just switching the lens, even if it's still work, but switching the lens almost gives some like life and strength to what you're doing. It kind of pushes you forward. Do you like that? Do you find it to be, you want to drop one of them? If you could, would you want to just focus on one thing? Or do you like just being able to do a bunch of stuff?
Yeah, I find that I struggle sitting down for a long periods of time. So
it's not for everybody.
It's not.
Right? When you talk about it with people who are like-minded, like I think we are, I get excited. I'm like, yeah, I get it.
Right.
Like, cool. But then I've heard people just look at you like, no, I want like one thing to do. I want to chill. I want to like be able to get away from work, not think about it. I don't want to have to figure out how to do something. I want someone to tell me what to do, and I just kind of like do it, which is fine too. I mean, there's many different personalities out there and mindsets, and you need people on the extreme ends of both. You need the entrepreneur, go-getter, brave, pioneer, groundbreaking individuals that do things that help society in the world or inspire others. And then you do need people who are just going to not want to do that and just focus on just getting the job done, and so they can do their own thing. And it could be, they can go to their own hobbies, sports, activities, shoot. It could be, I just want to go watch Netflix. Whatever it is for you. Certainly not for me. I have like a guilty conscience problem if I'm not doing something that can yield an outcome of some type of substance, some type of physical thing or time-based thing, something that can go back into the world and like amount for something. I feel very bad. I feel very guilty.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know why. I feel like I'm not doing something.
Okay.
In general, which is great if you're trying to be productive.
Right.
It's terrible if you're trying to be a human being and exist in society.
I feel that. No, I think that being a very productive and like busy person is self-fulfilling, but then when it comes to like, being out in the world, sometimes it's just like, okay, well, you're always busy, so, yeah, I feel that.
Do you find it hard relating to friends or people around you at your age doing all these things? Not a lot of 25-year-olds do so many things at the same time.
I guess not necessarily, because I know a lot of artists and they also do 50,000
right.
things.
So you're in the right bubble.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good then.
Yeah.
I hop between bubbles, so sometimes I'll get like that motivation, like, oh, cool, you're doing this. Wow, you're doing this, and I get inspired, right?
Yeah.
And then sometimes you're in a different place, and you're like get bogged down. You're like, oh, so I guess this is what we're doing, huh?
Right.
That's really cool. So you wanna stick in Chicago. This is where you want to keep doing what you do.
For now, yeah.
For now, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any active aspirations to move anywhere, but I'm not opposed to like moving anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. I I feel the same way, but then everything I do is like so tied here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do I leave? Like, I don't know if I could. Like, it's just my whole life is here.
Yeah.
Everything. But I don't know. I really like this city. I wish that there was a little bit more nature.
Mm-hmm.
There's some around here. We're far enough out, but I wish there was more like mountains or desert, just something else. Lake Michigan's great. It's filthy, but it's great.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting, but it's great. It's a modern marvel to look at. You're like, this, I can't believe this is just a lake, like
Right.
this big, next to some of the most beautiful architecture in the world, you know? It's kind of remarkable.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty gross.
It's disgusting. I'll put my feet in the water, but that's about it.
Yeah, I go swimming in the like far east side, like Michigan, like literally in the state of Michigan.
Okay.
But near Chicago, or like at the beaches around here.
Mm-hmm.
No, not really. Yeah. What neighborhoods did you like grow up in? You said you lived in a bunch of different spots.
Yeah. So when I was like really, really little, like firstborn, I was on like the north side, like around Navy Pier area. And then moved to Bronzeville and then moved to Midway and now in like South Loop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting spots. Those are also very different. South Loop and Brownsville are not too far, but
Yeah.
Midway to there, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, Midway's not far at all from here.
Yeah.
I'm going to Brownsville on Saturday to see a friend of mine, Thaddeus Tukes. You know him?
Mm-hmm.
He's a Chicago jazz musician, playing for the Hyde Park Jazz Festival.
Oh, okay.
It's
cool.
like not at the fest, but it's like a part of the lineup. Like I think they're doing spots around the city where they play by monuments and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It should be cool. I just didn't know if you knew who he was, but I never really hung out much in Brownsville. And South Loop I'm used to because I went to Columbia for my undergrad, so I know that area really well.
Yeah.
Do you
okay.
like living in the South Loop? It's
Yeah,
quite
it's cool.
busy around there.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's not bad, and it's not like the most amazing thing.
It's not bumping
My
for
favorite
you.
neighborhood is Hyde Park. So
Right. Hyde
yeah.
Park's great.
It's amazing.
I hang out there a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like I claim that as like my second home because that's where my dance studio was, and so I was there all the time.
Why don't you move there?
I want to.
What's
will.
holding you back?
I will eventually. I'll get there.
It's a cool area. I love, the University of Chicago area is just beautiful. It is, what bums me out a lot about Chicago, as much as I love it, is how just strict these neighborhoods are, how much it just changes from wealth to poverty. It's so extreme
Yeah.
and so fast. You're like, wow, this is beautiful and great, and this Victorian home and this multi-million-dollar house and apartment, and then you go over 3 blocks. You're like, what happened? Like,
Yeah.
why is this happening?
Yeah.
What do we do about this? Are your family, your folks from Chicago?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay. Sorry, I had to think about that. Okay. Well, technically, yes, but my father is from Jamaica. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But he came here when he was younger, so that's why I was like, technically, yes. But yeah.
Do you find any of that experience having a dad from Jamaica like influence your singing or your music at all? Like, did you grow up with anything like that with him around doing that, showing you anything from his home, from his country?
Yeah, I think because he was here like younger that he would had more so like American culture.
Oh.
But like when it comes to my family, like when I visit them for like holidays and stuff like that, I've I guess gained some of the culture from there. I do wish I had more like cultural connection.
Yeah.
But I think that it might influence my music a little. I definitely, when I made my album, wanted Moment is like the more Caribbean style song that I have, and I definitely was like, I need to make something because it's Caribbean.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I love Caribbean music, and I love like to dance to that. So yeah, I feel like eventually I'll probably make some more. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's always weird when you're slightly removed from a certain culture. Like my dad is Mexican, but he just didn't really show me much of that growing up here. Probably just wanted me to be more, American and fit in. But it sucks when it's like that close and you just like don't have it, and it's a little too late to fully. If you don't fully grow up with it, it's hard to like just go back to it as an adult.
Yeah.
That spongy part of your brain is kind of over with, and you have to like. you go into it like in an analytical way. It's like, okay, that's the country. That's what happened. You just don't take it in for what it is. You have to like think about it. It sucks. I'm always jealous of people who have like, they grew up with the culture their parents are from and like really got it. The language, the food, the fashion, the music, the history, the lingo, the slang, like all of it, you know?
I wish, yeah, for sure.
Your glasses, two different.
Okay, so what happened was...
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so apparently this is like a sticker. It's like glued on.
Oh.
I don't know if it's a sticker. It's probably like compressed and like with glue or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, the whole thing started to come off, and I was like, "What is happening?" Because I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then so I just pulled it off, and I still liked it, so I was like, I'm just gonna leave it.
It looks cool. I mean, I thought it was on purpose. I was like, oh, it's interesting.
See, yeah, exactly.
Half glitter, not half glitter. Those are real glasses, right?
Yes,
I could tell.
Yeah,
those posers out there that wear glasses that aren't real.
It's disrespectful.
Thank you, Megan. Everybody hear that? I've been going on about this for like the last 50 million episodes. I think people are tired of hearing about it. Why don't you tell the listeners why you think it's disrespectful so they can stop hearing it from me?
I think that I understand that it is a fashion statement. I can understand that. However, for people who have to actually grow up wearing glasses,
yes,
it's just like, I didn't have a choice, you know? Yes. This was brought upon me.
I know, exactly.
So
I have some really extreme analogies that I think I do it to be a little obnoxious. Just like someone who needs crutches, would you just go around like, oh, I'm going to use crutches now? It's like, because it's a tool.
Yeah.
These are tools. Lenses are a tool that an engineer came up with to help your vision to see clearly. So to wear them for fun, when people like myself, who I'm older than you, so I got made fun of a lot. In the 90s for wearing glasses. Just the classic nerd, dweeb, 4 eyes, this, that. Like people messing with you, and now it's just like fun and like hip. I'm like, oh, it just makes me so mad.
You're like, I had to go through all this pain.
I know. And it's just so goofy now. And people like Invisalign, I'm like, man, I had to suffer through braces, and people use Invisalign now.
I had braces.
Right?
But I had braces. I was like nervous about that because I had braces in college. Like I started
you started late.
Yeah, I started like literally like the week after I graduated high school.
That is nerve-wracking.
Yeah. But it wasn't terrible actually. It was fine. It was cool.
It was cool, I promise. It was
Except for the fact that it lasted like 5 years and it didn't need to. I really don't believe that it needed to.
Let me see those teeth. Oh, wow, they look great. Okay, it paid off. My teeth don't look that good, and I had braces. But I stopped wearing the retainer. Do you still wear a retainer?
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
I also have a permanent retainer, though.
Well.
But because they tell you, like, to wear the...
Yeah.
Like, I have, like, the Invisalign type things as a retainer.
Yeah, you have good teeth.
Thank you.
Mine are jagged and messed up. Better than they used to be. The braces worked, but... from what I know, if you don't continue to wear the retainer, they will start to shift.
Yeah.
They don't always stay exact.
Yeah.
Probably just the way your jaw and face, why they were crooked to begin with, the way you grew, genetically speaking, like you can't just correct it forever, you know? Are you able to have contacts? I know some can't. So you stick with the glasses though?
It's the pandemic. I got lazy. Like I'm like, I don't need to wear this like in the house, you know? And then when stuff started to open back up, like I would wear them, but I got so used to wearing my glasses that it's just like I want to get more contacts. Like I haven't had contacts for like maybe 6 to 8 months. I do want to get more just because I think that they are good for social situations.
What do you mean?
Like if going to a party or like performing or something like that, because I feel like I don't know.
Going to a party?
Yeah. Huh?
What do you mean going to a party?
Like, okay, well, some parties are like really hot, you know, like
steamy?
Yeah.
Like temperature?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I've experienced a couple times, like especially when it's like cold outside, I'll come in from the cold and then like immediately my glasses will fog up.
That's the fun part though. That's the suffering.
Is it fun?
No, it's not. It's not fun, but I'm a stubborn old man and I've been dealing with the fog up It's not even a party, it's just in the winter.
Yeah, that's real.
You know, or your car, or just anything where it's extreme temperature change. Or like,
Yeah.
ugh, and just foggy, yeah. But I find like the struggle endearing. I find suffering to be motivational. I don't know why. I try to suffer in every way. I know. You're not the first person to be like, why? Why do you do this to yourself? Like,
I
don't know.
Understand.
I don't know.
I do get where you're coming from, but
it's dark.
Yeah.
that classic, okay. Voice goes up, okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's cool.
I don't even know where we are right now. That's what I like podcasts. You just go places and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me something else about yourself? We got one over glasses, Chicago, ballet, dancing.
Yes.
We went to school, graphic design. You like to do it for other people. Music. Let's go back to the music. I want to talk more about your record.
Okay.
Where was this recorded, this record?
My friend's, I guess it's not really an apartment, but home, I guess? Yeah.
This place where he occupies it? I don't know.
He tends to live there, something like that.
I think it's a house, is how you say it? A home, a place, a living circumstance.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. And just he's an engineer, produced it?
Producer, yeah.
That's cool.
But he also did the mastering, I guess, so the engineering of my project, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, he did a great job.
Right, didn't he?
Yeah, that's great. And any other musicians play on it?
So on Moment, that's pretty much, let me think before I say that. Yeah, I think that's the only song where other people were involved. So this artist, Catchy, he's like featured on the song.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's an artist named Soul. He was the bass player. He made the bass line.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the extended version, there's Kenneth Lethbridge on saxophone. There's Teo on trumpet. No. Trombone. Fable on trumpet.
Oh, I know Fable. He's playing DZ Fest.
Yeah. And then Jeremy Taylor also.
Oh, nice.
He's in Soul Dial.
Yeah.
He's on the drums. And then Catchy did piano.
Nice.
And I think that's everyone.
Small world.
Yeah.
How'd you get hooked up with these people?
So when I said that I had a friend that kind of showed me into all of like the music scene. Mm-hmm. So essentially, my friend from college had a birthday party, and her best friend is friends with Jeremy, and so Jeremy brought some of the artist people with him to that party, and then I became associated with Jeremy and Fable and Catchy, I think, that night. And then, it kind of just went from there. It kind of just grew from there.
Cool.
Yeah, but Jeremy was the one who kind of like helped me get more into the music space.
Mm-hmm. It's really in depth, but everyone starts to know everyone if you just keep going into it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Very big. I really like to see it grow and the connections over the years of just being involved in it and doing it. And you really start to see how much people work together and collaborate on each other's records. Mm-hmm. Someone always knows another producer, an engineer, someone who mixes, does photography. It's really cool. Yeah. I really, really like Chicago's music scene a lot. I've had nothing but, good experiences. I mean, you're going to have, a struggling person or a person who's going through some things sometimes here and there in any industry. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, everyone's been just so helpful. People have given me lists of bands to check out, to reach out to. Like all these just really helpful people. And I don't know. It comes from a really good place, really wholesome place. Mm-hmm. But then once you get to a level where you're trying to like make it for a living, and it starts to get from that community creative aspect to like, this is a business and I need to get mine to survive. Yeah. That's when it gets, I don't know, sketchy and gross.
I agree.
I get scared about that. Because but in order to survive, you almost have to do it. You can definitely try to do your own thing. I'm trying to do my own thing with what I do here. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely daunting. It's an uphill battle. Everything's kind of against you. The system is designed against you if you're trying to do that. What would you, like, would you want to be a touring musician? Is that something that interests you? Because have you ever like traveled a lot for like anything? It's hard, to tour the country and stuff and sing.
Yeah, when it comes to music, this is, like I said, it's like very new. And so like I guess it kind of surprised me in a sense, like the desire to be like more professional about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, I didn't expect that, but I would not be opposed to being a touring musician. It is not, I guess, like an active thing right now because I'm still trying to like develop what I want to do with music, So yeah, I feel like I'm definitely in the early stages still trying to figure everything out in regards to that. Because, like I said, I never expected it to be like what it is,
And what is it for you?
To me, it's a, I don't know, like it's a budding passion. Like I've always been passionate about music, but it's just like the passion is going into a different direction, I guess you can say. And I don't entirely know what that direction is. I'm just going with the flow,
Yeah. I could see it turning out.
Excuse me.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
the hiccups you're talking
about.
Hiccups. I could see it turning out pretty well. I mean,
thank you.
You have a great voice, a great style. It's very wholesome, very authentic. When did you realize, hey, I could sing? Like, when did that start happening? Forever?
Yeah, I
you
guess
were that
so.
kid that's just been blessed with a voice. The kid that all of us who can't sing are envious of.
Yeah, I'm the person that, like, when you're singing along to a song, you're singing along to the song, but then I start singing, and then you're like, okay, well I don't need to.
Would it be too difficult for you to sing anything right now?
Difficult.
Or too much to ask on the spot?
Ooh.
You don't have to.
I'm trying to think of something. Do you know who Fauna Hughes is?
I do not.
She's an amazing artist. I've really, really like her music. And I feel like she's kind of, I guess, my goal or my trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like she makes music that's similar-ish to me, but not like, the same. But I don't want to, I was going to sing, but I don't know if my voice is ready. But it's like a song called Wait. Okay. It's like, if you could wait on me a while, I still need time to wait. And that's as far as we're going to go, because, yeah.
That was wonderful.
Thank you. It was a little choppy, but that's okay.
I mean, I started to like close my eyes, like I can like sleep to this.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Do you where do you come up with the themes or song lyrics? Where does that come from, like within you?
I am a hopeless romantic.
Oh boy, me too. So I understand.
Yeah. So
we'll get into that.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, a lot of anything that I've written is based off of like love. So, and my project is about romantic love, but it's also just about love in general. And like the many like facets of it. I feel personally connected to it because of, romantic situations, but also because I feel like it kind of explains the process, I guess, that I went through during COVID, and just like the start of COVID was like exciting, I guess, in the sense that I was able to just like do whatever I wanted, because that was at the point where I was thinking like, oh, this is only going to be like a month long. We'll be back, And then it kind of got a little bit more into like the depths of like, oh my gosh, we're like going to be here for a long time. And then like what that looks like for me as like, what that looks like for my career and things like that. And then coming out at the end, just kind of being like, okay, I'm good. Like everything happens when it needs to happen. And, like just breathe, and just, love yourself and all that stuff. So, yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought.
Just talking about where your music comes from. And
yes.
Like your song, your lyrics, the themes.
So yeah, I guess I am a pretty organized person, so I think every song of mine came from like a specific incident, or not necessarily incident, but like, you know, situation. And just like my general feelings about that situation, you know.
Yeah.
And then the project itself, like I said, it kind of goes through that like cycle, which is why it's called cycles. But it goes through like each, like the feeling of each moment that I experienced with, you know, certain people or what have you. But telling a story altogether of like just my experience with relationships in general. So, yeah, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah. And that's where it bridges to the hopeless romantic thing.
Yes.
Relationships, heartache,
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah.
Why is hopeless romantic always associated with like this type of epic suffering? Like it's not really a good thing. It's like it's never. I never hear anything good about it.
Yeah.
You can't help it.
I think I'm not necessarily, like, I feel like for me, being hopeless romantic just means that I really enjoy romance. I really like enjoy seeing people in love and stuff like that. But possibly being too like, what's the word? Like, maybe wanting something too specific or something, you know? Like, you want what you see happen, but then, like, what you see happen, you don't really know exactly what goes into that, you know? What goes into other people's relationships and like, the depth of their relationships. So I think maybe the imagery of, like, romance is what makes me a hopeless romantic. But I feel like I'm starting to grow out of that a little bit just because I'm trying to be more like realistic about things, you know?
Because I'm trying to use my head.
Yeah,
For once, my mind. That was fun. That's smart for 25. I'm 32, and I think I still haven't figured it out. So, but I can't help it. I feel a lot, and I put a lot of creativity in everything, and it just so happens to translate to like love and romances. Being creative as far as the gifts, the ideas, what we do, how you even exist with each other, how you even caress each other, not even in a more intimate way like making love, but just hanging out, watching your favorite show together, how you know, I've lived with a lot of people, I've been around a lot of people, and obviously people act different when they're alone than when they're people, but just the intimacy people share with the next person, like how romantic that is, and how they even talk about that person, the words they use. It's funny, the people that I know who, you said you like to see other people also like in love, like that's your spectrum of it, you know?
Yeah.
And there's some people who get so grossed out or mad. Those people are so, look at them, so, ugh.
Okay,
Can't they tell people can see that? It's like they're just holding hands like on a picnic bench. Like, relax.
No, I'm not like aggressively. Like I'll be like sarcastically like ew, but in my inside I'm like, oh, that's so cute.
Then why do you say ew? Just so you could put up a front? So
No,
people
I'm
don't know
just-
how much of a hopeless romantic you are.
No, I am a pretty sarcastic person. So
Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Ew means like,
Yeah.
got it. That's funny. Now, do you do that alone or do you do that with people too?
What specifically?
Like, do you do it to yourself alone? Like, if say you were walking on Lakeshore Drive and you walk past like a beach and you saw a cute couple.
Oh, yeah.
And you were by yourself, would you still say that in your head, like, ugh? Or would you be like,
yeah. But it's just
even
it's
to
comedic,
yourself?
It's comedic relief.
Oh,
you know?
so you're almost like, you're a comedic too. You're comedic comedy too.
No, I am not.
You're not a comedian.
I am not. I think that I can be funny, but I don't.
I mean, I think that's pretty funny to be alone and still go like, ew, even though you mean like, oh, that's kind of funny.
Okay, well, thank you.
So do you, being a hopeless romantic, when did you first realize this about yourself?
That's gross.
That it's gross to realize this about yourself?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I guess just whatever's associated with it, you know, with being a hopeless romantic is just like, I guess initially it's like when you're growing up, like, oh, like you're a hopeless romantic, you know? Like, it's not necessarily a badge of honor.
No. Yeah, it's not. People mostly give you crap for it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you wear your heart on your sleeve. You need to protect yourself.
Right.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Be careful. Don't let your heart get... It's like, it's too late. It's broken. It's on the sleeve. It's on both sleeves. It's on my wrist. It's just out there. Cut it out, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I think I also kind of have two sides to me too. So I'm like able to keep my hopeless romanticness to myself, I guess, like to a certain extent. Sometimes it gets out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like I have a very logical side to me, but also a very like emotional side to me, obviously. But I feel like both of those things are prominent in my existence. So,
right.
Yeah.
Interesting. And did your mom or dad ever be like, you got to be careful with this, like the way you are as a person, as far as your heart? Yeah. And you're just like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah. My dad more specifically, but he's the more logical side. Like he's very like, you know, cut and dry. And my mother is a little bit more emotional, but not drastically. Like, yeah. So
where do you think you got it from? Like, did you learn it from them? Someone in your family? Movies? Disney? Music? Where do you think it came from? I mean, I could tell you.
It probably came from music.
Yeah.
Because I listen to a lot of music. Like, I love music.
Yeah.
So it probably came from that, yeah.
And it just kind of planted that seed.
Yeah.
Now, do you think... I don't find it to be... I think a lot of people find it to be negative because heartbreak sucks, right? But I find it to be so liberating to always just like... to feel. To always like take it in. And maybe I'm more guarded now, but... kind of like in my head, I'm still feeling all those things and doing it. I just won't like show it as much now.
Yeah.
I used to always just show it and feel it, and now I just feel it and I don't show it as much. But I'm like, it's still there. So like, what's this game I'm playing with myself? But definitely being a little bit more logical and patient, and it's exciting when things like are working out. You want to just go for it, you know. But man, heartache's terrible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like. Excuse me. That like guarded that you are starting to develop. I feel like I developed that a while ago. I don't remember exactly what did that, but like that's why I'm saying like I feel like I have, you know, two sides, because like you're saying, on the inside I'm like, you know, but on the outside I'm like, oh, well, thank you. Thank you for those
for those who are just listening that couldn't see your gesture. What do you mean? You know, on the inside,
like I guess flirty or like flittery or like, you know, butterflies and stuff like that. Yeah.
And then on the outside, like, oh, it's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe I'll see you.
Right.
I love that one. Yeah, we'll see. It's like can you just say yes or no?
Right. No, like seriously, just. I don't understand. I feel like people should be more direct with things.
Yes. I hate the maybes and the we'll see. I always tell people, professional, not, doesn't matter. Friend or lover. I say, I don't do maybes and yes, or maybes and we'll sees. Like, yes or no. I'm too busy and life's too crazy and I suffer too much. Give me an answer. Rip the Band-Aid off or leave it on. But don't be like, maybe I'll take off this Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's it's an indicator of like where they are if they can't commit to something. Even the littlest things. You want to hang out Saturday? We'll see. My favorite is anybody, friend or not. I got to see what I'm doing first. Well, this is what you could be doing. So now if you don't know, like if you are an adult, and it's Wednesday right now, right? If you don't know what you're doing Saturday, which means you have nothing to do, which means you could do the thing. It really means they just don't want to do it.
Right.
But like to be like, I got to see, like, look at your calendar.
Yeah.
What's your calendar say? Is it open? Then sounds like you could do it. We'll see. There's people who just don't like commitment on the littlest thing. You want to go get coffee on Saturday? We'll see. I don't know. Maybe.
I think that I don't know. In general, I feel like I do not commit to something unless I know that I'm going to do it. But I will give people a time frame. You know, like if someone is like, if I don't know, or if I have a schedule that I do have something to do, for example, but I could possibly move that thing around or something like that. You know, if somebody asks me, you know, can we go get coffee or whatever, and I don't know the answer immediately, then I'm just going to say, let me check my schedule, you know, or like, let me get back to you on Friday or something like that, you know, just give them a window of opportunity to or a window to be prepared for an answer, you know?
Absolutely.
But yeah, I hate when people are like, oh, I'll see, or let me know, or I mean, I'll let you know. And they'll say, I'll let you know, and then don't.
They don't let you know.
Yeah. And then I follow up like, so.
What's up? Yeah.
Yeah, that's annoying.
It is annoying. It's a common thing now.
Mm-hmm.
And the older you get, when you get into like kids and mortgages and families and husband and wives and all that, everyone has like the most legitimate excuse. If you have a kid, you can get out of anything.
That's real.
And you can't be like, hey, like, dude, I have a kid. It's like, you're right. But when you're single and you don't own a home and like it's a weekend, like what? Just say yes or no, or get back to me, or don't.
It's like if you're not interested, that's okay. I'm not offended. You know, it's like you're okay to not want to do something.
Absolutely.
So just say that.
I know, and it gets way crazier if you're like trying to like date.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's a wild place. The internet like equally helps as it equally hurts.
I don't. Online dating is not for me.
I just struck a nerve. The way you looked at me, you're like, boy, don't even give me stuff. I don't. Yeah. You couldn't finish the sentence. Like, I don't even.
I'm good. I've never tried it, but I'm good. I don't believe that it's good for me.
No, not for you in particular.
Yeah.
I've had good luck with it. I've had terrible luck with it. But it turns out like it's 50-50, and that's all relationships. That's every attempt ever. It's just like, I think it's funny when people say, the chance of divorce is 50-50. It's like, yeah, everything is. And like, I'm either going to die or live. I'm either going to meet someone or I won't. I'm either going to get married or I'm not.
Yeah.
It's always 50-50. So like, you either take the risk or you don't. You either stay in your basement and hide, or you go out there in the world and meet somebody. But it's 50-50. I'd rather take the risk and see what happens. It's definitely interesting. I think it's helpful in certain situations. It's difficult for certain people. In certain industries, it's definitely helpful to online date if you're trying to stay away from your bubble, to make sure that like you don't you don't dip into people like you work with. You know, that's where I found myself. It's tricky. I don't want to do that. Just to have a beautiful, clean, healthy line of transparency of like my intentions versus like intimacy.
Yeah.
With clients and musicians and artists, keep it separate for longevity, and just to make sure like the intention is like you're the client, you're the talent, you're the friend, and and that's like personal life.
Right.
Which I think I wish more people did that. Some people don't know how to do that, and it's not really professional or good in the long run. Yeah, I don't know, but everyone should do what they want. It's a weird place. It's definitely dangerous.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone. What makes you not want to try it or do it?
I feel like I want people to be vetted first. So like a lot of the people that I've experienced have been like friends of friends, or like someone that I met at school or something like that, I'd rather people be vetted first. I don't know, what people are out here doing in their lives, So it's just more of a safety thing, I guess.
Yeah. It's definitely can be very risky, especially for more on the female side of things, for sure. I completely understand. It's wild out there. The stories I've heard women tell me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm like, men do that? What is wrong with them? Like, I'm just going to go there. Like, I've brought this up before, but like the dick pic thing, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
People do that?
Yeah.
What's wrong with people?
People do that.
It's weird.
It's weird.
It's wrong. It's weird. I don't know how it's not illegal. Like, you can't do that in reality. You can't just go like, hey, check this out. Like, you can't, I don't know. And I don't know why someone would think like, this is going to really make her like me. I don't, like, why would that do that? I don't even think that'd make me like a woman if they did that. Like, that's just, I don't know you. Why'd you just do that?
Right.
I might not be as threatened, but I certainly wouldn't find it cool. I'd be like, this is strange. Yeah. I'd find it strange. Like, you're too weird for me right now. I don't know why.
This is a level of weird that I'm not okay with.
I don't even know you. Yeah, I don't get it. Men are very strange. And
men are strange. I agree with that statement.
yeah, why don't you tell us? what you think about us.
I just think that men are very, very special creatures.
Oh, we're special.
Yeah.
And women aren't.
I mean, women can be.
Oh, they can be.
They can
Men
be.
are.
Men are.
And women can be. Got it. Okay, just making sure we're clear. That's funny because I think men are fun. I don't. That's the problem is like I agree with you and that's what makes me mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Men can be.
But it's the truth.
It's the truth. It's weird. Yeah. It's kind of strange. It's like, yeah, men can be cool, but most of them they're weird. Mm-hmm. And women are weird and cool. You know?
There you go.
But the thing is, I definitely understand, like, I don't feel nearly as afraid or worried or scared in that situation with women, but I know women can and should with men. But it's like, I don't know what to do about it. Like, I'm trying to do something about it in everything in my life, but I don't. It's like, we need everyone to do it together to, like, figure out this problem we have. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's so daunting because most of the time you get defeated. Not you, but a lot of people, especially women get defeated, like, they almost give up. Mm-hmm. And I don't blame you, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like, I don't know, like, you can't really give up if you're trying to fix this unfortunate dynamic that has been created in society amongst Homo sapiens, right?
Yeah. And
the only thing I could think of doing is like having these conversations, just talking about it, putting it out in the open. Like, yeah, we're human and we face it. This is my first time meeting you. We're 7 years apart from each other, but we both agree like it's hard and it's weird and it's unfortunate and men are strange about it. I don't get it. Yeah, I guess the only solution would be to just keep talking about it, addressing it, being honest, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I try to be, but I don't know. I never understood some of the things that men do. I'll hear guys say, I'm like, what? You actually said that to somebody? Like, that's no way that works. Right. It doesn't work.
Right.
You know, once in a while you get that person, it's just like, yeah, whatever. But most of these lines and weird ways of getting to a woman's heart, it just doesn't work, you know?
But they still try. So, you know, when will they learn?
So being defeated about men, I'm just going to generalize you right now.
Okay.
Being defeated by men, but being a hopeless romantic. What do you do with this catch-22?
What do I do?
You write a record about it.
There you go. That's what I do. I make music. That is my whole career.
That's it. Make music, make art, and maybe it'll figure itself out. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to do if, like, you do find a person you want to be with. Then what? Then I'm just like...
It's a whole other journey.
I know. Then you got to, like, figure that one out. How do I sustain this awesome thing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I agree.
That's scary. Because then you realize the best relationships or marriage I've seen, you might say to them, like, oh, man, like, that's great. You guys are so great together. And they're just like, oh, you have no idea. Like,
right.
You're like, oh, shoot. Wait, I thought you guys were good.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like your dream job. It's still a ton of work.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like your best friend. You still got to be like, hold on, so-and-so's calling. You got to deal with them. Sorry, their boyfriend just broke with them. I mean, it's just like, it's always work. The best things still are work. So it almost feels like, what are you willing to put up with and put into to, like, keep it going? Are you willing to sustain it? Does the good outweigh the bad just enough? Is it 51-49 enough to keep going?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's daunting.
It is.
But when it works, it's so beautiful.
Yeah. I agree with that. But it's a process.
It is.
For sure.
Are you a Starbucks person?
No, I'm not.
What's up with that Starbucks thing?
I got some tea from my mother's house.
Oh, that's like a plastic.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a to-go
reusable
thing.
One, yeah.
Got it. So it's not actually from, like, you didn't just go to Starbucks.
No.
Okay. I was just curious. What, like, outside from that tea, do you like going there for anything?
No, I don't go to Starbucks. I have nothing against it. I used to drink Starbucks a lot when I would be going to dance classes, and not for any particular reason except for it was available.
Yeah.
But I'm not a coffee person, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't.
You just never took to it?
Mm-mm. And I don't really like the smell that much.
Really?
Yeah. I know a lot of people, like, love the smell of coffee, but.
Yeah, I do. I didn't start drinking it regularly until late 20s. A bit older than you, actually. So I get it. I never thought I'd like it. I kind of was turned off again, like you said, by the smell. I was also a little strict. I'm like, I don't need this to get through the day.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at too.
Like just hard-headed. And then I started trying to get into it and met a friend who got into it, and then he moved in. He was a roommate. He was a barista and got me into all like the high-end gear, making pour-overs and the beans and the regions and how to properly grind them and make the coffee properly with, like a V60 Chemex. How to time it versus the weight, the ratios, all the chemistry behind it. And then me being me, I got really into it, obsessed. And I'm like, wow, this is kind of remarkable. Like these drinks, these coffees are unreal. And when I start to have coffee in other places, even like Starbucks, I'm like, this stuff sucks compared to how good this is. And then I got really into it because I enjoyed the art of making it, even where it came from, these places in South America, Central America, Africa. It's so cool where these beans come from, how they grow, how they have this magical thing, caffeine, that just makes you just jolt. But it definitely, you can start to rely on it. I mean, I get a little... It's like what I go to when I travel. I go, where's there a coffee shop?
Yeah.
Like, because so the hotel's here. Is there a coffee shop nearby?
Somewhere close.
And it's got to be like a third wave. It's got to be good. Like,
right.
It's got to be like $5 for a pour over. Otherwise, like, I ain't going. And my friends are always like, oh my God. But then I show them it, and they're like, oh, wow, that's good. I'm like, see? Aren't you glad?
Right. I told you.
Yeah, I told you. So tea is more of your thing?
Yeah, I'm more of a tea drinker. I understand the, like, artistic side of beverages and food in general. So I want to get more into that when it comes to tea.
Yeah. Tea's a really cool art form, too.
Yeah. And I want to get more into that when it comes to, like, wine and stuff, too. But
wine.
I do. I
love wine a lot. Red wine?
Yeah. I like both. I'm still getting into it. Like, I have my like favorites, but I, still want to try some more stuff. But I definitely like Cabernet Sauvignon is like my favorite right now.
I've never heard someone say it so officially. I like me a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Well,
most people are like, yeah, I like a good Cab Sav.
Is that a thing?
I mean,
I didn't know it was a thing.
You're definitely getting into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always hear like, I like Cabs. Pinots are cool. Like, no one says the full thing ever.
Yeah.
I do because that's just me. But I also like Cabs.
Yeah.
I just had a good bottle on Saturday. Something about wine. Like wine and a record. Maybe a little bit of weed. Life's good. Right? That's like my favorite night.
Great time.
I'm like, what are we doing tonight? I got some wine. I got some marijuana. And I got record and a dope sound system. I think we figured it out.
This is the night.
You're right? Is that something you prefer to do?
I do like to like kickback vibes, I prefer that. I do like to go out, but in spurts.
A little bit more on the introverted side?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would consider myself to be an ambivert, but
ambivert?
more so. And yeah. That's like a mix. It's
that's
just
new to me. I never heard that term.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that, ambivert.
Well, it's a new age term.
There's always something new. Like every 3 weeks, I'm like, oh, got to learn that one. Okay, got it.
But yeah, I definitely lean. I'm probably like 60-40, more introverted. Yeah.
Always that way? Mm-hmm. Do you think... So, let me know what you think about this. Okay. I've always noticed a lot of creative people lean a little bit more introvert. What's up with that?
Yeah,
is that where we go to take the time to express ourselves? Or do we, because we are introvert, that's why we express it? Like, what came first? What comes first in this situation? I don't know.
That's a good question. I think, and also a good observation. But yeah, I think that, I don't know. I guess there's some artists that really, really feed off of like, the energy of a crowd or something like that. And I think that in that moment, it's kind of like acting, I guess, in a sense, because you like, and I think back to, I don't know the entirety of her interview, but I think back to what I've heard about Janet Jackson and how she like has like 2 different personas and how she's like really, really quiet into herself on a regular, but when she gets on stage, it's like she switches on a light and, she's able to become this whole different person. So I think it's just like that for a lot of people. A lot of people like their solitude. A lot of people like to be able to create in their own space, in their own mind. You know? but they still are able to feed off of that energy from crowds and like perform, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know where it comes from though. I don't know.
I wonder if it's what creates the artist. You stay in, so you have time to think. And because you're not, this is just a generalization. And because you're not going out, you might manifest your own world, your own imagination. And that could be a poem, a song, a story, a comic, a joke, video work, graphic design, fashion, something.
Yeah.
Because it's not being taken up by the stimulation of being around your environment amongst other people.
Yeah.
Maybe. It could be one of the ingredients that
Yeah.
creates it. But I find that all the time. And with like what you just said about Janet Jackson, I'm always around people. And I work with people all the time. I do a lot of that. But I love being alone. I can't explain it. And a good friend of mine who spends a lot of time with me, and I've known a while, has said like, I'm a very weird case of like this, like an introverted, extroverted, not like what you said, not even like 60-40, but like an extreme version of both.
Interesting.
It's weird. Like I built a cabin in my backyard and like stayed there and lived in it. I like to be alone a lot. I teach at ISU and I drive 2 hours there just to teach, and I enjoy being alone. I enjoy the long days where I'm known to be alone, just editing all day. But then I also have a music fest, and I've had an insane amount of parties and gatherings. I used to have shows every month in this basement. Hundreds of people came. I meet with bands every week to work with them. There's people here all the time. I have 2 friends making a documentary about me right now, and they're staying with me for 8 weeks. Like a lot of people in my life, yet I still love being alone. But like I also really love being around people, and I'm always torn between both all the time. But I also am fine with both.
Okay.
Like I would be fine being alone, smoking weed, listening to a vinyl, drinking some wine. But then if 8 people showed up that I like, the key word there that I like.
Right, I was like, that's very be
that
specific.
I like, I would be like, oh, this is great. I'd be fine with it. I'm like, come join, hang out,
Yeah.
have some of this.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't care. Some people who are introverted would be like, oh, they just ruined my mood.
Yeah.
Like, they just mess with my vibe. Like
Yeah.
I don't really get that. I like being alone, but if people showed up, like, oh, cool. And if they left, I wouldn't be, if I was the person who's an extrovert who wants to be around people, they'd be bummed if the people left.
Right.
I'd be like, cool, they left.
So you
now
just
I get to be alone again. like it doesn't, I can't explain. It's so bizarre, and I don't know which one it is, and it makes me have a hard time believing that people are fully one or the other. If it might feel like it's the shackles they put on themselves, like they manifest it by constantly saying, I'm in this, I'm in that. It's like, well, maybe why don't you just try existing and like see what happens? Try telling yourself so badly that you're this, because people who I know for a fact who are introverted and they keep saying they are, the times I've gotten them to go out, they had so much fun. They're like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah.
It's almost introverted because they just keep telling themselves like, I need to be in it. Almost is more of a form of anxiety or social anxiety, you know?
Yeah.
And they end up having a great time. Now, I truly do believe there are some people who like regenerate, recharge when they're alone, and vice versa. They get some energy when they're with people. That's definitely real. You could see it in people and their mentality. But as far as what you bestow upon yourself, like the weight you put on yourself, that you keep saying like, sorry, I can't do that, I'm an introvert. Like you keep just actualizing it.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you just do the opposite and go out and see what happens?
Right.
And then they go, I'm like, oh, it wasn't that bad. I actually had fun. I actually met someone cool. I met my future husband that way. Like you never know.
Right.
And then there are those who like cannot be alone. They like, when's so-and-so coming over? When we do, you guys want to like meet up with like 25 people here? And it's like, how about you go chill with your thoughts for a second, my friend? And then they do that and they're like, yeah, it's not so bad. I figured out some stuff about myself. I went inward and did some meditative thoughts, you know, thought processing. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's just so interesting. I like to talk to artists and find out where they get some of their spark and how they lean towards being around people or not. I find it fascinating because I always hear, I'm an artist, I do this, and that, and I like to be alone. I'm kind of an introvert, they'll say, you know? So you said 60-40, like, do you feel like you recharge when you're alone?
Yeah, I think you could say that. Yeah. Because that's when I get to be like as specific as I want to about things, be as organized as I want to, be as creative as I want to,
Mm-hmm.
So I think so.
Mm. And do you have siblings?
I don't. I'm an only child. Well, okay, I have my stepbrother, but I call him my brother. But
Got it. Did he grow up, live in your house with you?
Not really. Like he would be around, but he mostly lived with his mom. Yeah.
So you kind of grew up alone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting. That's I call it the only child syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard time sharing, hard time.
Okay. Well, that's probably
kidding.
where I got my like more so extroverted side from is like my cousins though, because they're like my sisters in a sense. So
You grew up with a lot of people around you, the family and stuff.
not a lot, but
Enough.
but a few.
Enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah.
That helps. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be completely alone as a kid.
Yeah.
That's not a good place to be. No. I grew up with so many people around me, a big family, siblings. This house has always been pumping my whole life. Like, you walk in, there's just people everywhere already. And you're like, huh? You and your mom. There's just like people in the front room, people here. There's like 6 people here. It's how this house has always been. And I am used to it. I think that's why I still like to be alone, because it's the only time to escape. I have to go into a room or hide away within a room or house of being around people.
Right.
That's where I think the balance of like, yeah, people are everywhere, but I'm also alone at
Yeah.
the same time all the time.
Yeah.
And it definitely forced me to do creative things. That's why I say, because I remember being alone and not feeling comfortable with being around people, mostly because I feel like I couldn't relate.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you ever have that problem, not being able to relate?
Yeah.
It kind of forces you inward.
Yeah. Yeah. People are weird in general, So I definitely think I have my own world for sure. But I feel like it's easy. I mean, and I was actually just talking to a friend about this, but it's easy to connect with people, especially in the city, like when it comes to, going out, or when it comes to music, or when it comes to like more like social things. But then when it comes to like the personal level, it's a little harder sometimes.
What do you mean by like the personal level, and how is it harder?
I think it's just harder just because I am a pretty guarded person, like a very private. That's the word. Person, but at the same time, like I can talk for days. So I don't know. I really exist in like 2 different spaces. So yeah, it's just sometimes hard to express myself when it comes to like conversations. And I think that's also a part of the reason why I've gotten into music, is because it's easier to express through an art form.
Yeah, you can hide behind a veil. Like, I'm just a singer, performer.
Right.
It's not like it's me, but it's not fully me.
Exactly.
Yeah. You think that's why you like modeling?
It could be.
Could be.
Yeah, I think so.
And what about like in this moment right now? Like, have you done a podcast?
No, I've never done a podcast.
So never done a podcast. We've never met.
Yeah.
You're in a place you've never been to.
Yeah.
And do you feel comfortable? Do you feel vulnerable? Do you feel...
Yeah, I feel fine. I have said this, well, I don't know if I've actually actively said this to people, but I have to like one person, but like I am good with being transparent, but not necessarily with being vulnerable.
Huh.
So like if somebody comes up to me and is like, hey, what year were you born? I'd be like, okay, 1997. But
it's just some random person. Hey, Megan, yo, how you doing?
Right.
What year are you born?
Right.
1997.
You
Duh.
know?
The year the Titanic came out. Come on. How do you not know this?
But I'm not going to like randomly walk up to somebody and be like, yo, I was born in 1997,
Your example, I get what you're saying. Your example is really funny.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I could tell that you're like being open, but not being too vulnerable.
Yeah.
If you can tell my questions. I'm
Yeah.
trying to pry. And you kind of say it, but you kind of don't.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'm a hopeless romantic. Tell me about it. Well, like, I've been learning not to be one. It's like, wait a minute. I thought you...
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely tell. There's definitely layers going on there.
Thank you.
I'm a little bit more open. Probably shouldn't be as open as I am, but I think that's what makes doing this fun is you kind of have to be open. It helps the guest open up too. If I'm like, well, if you're feeling nervous or shy, it's like I'll open it up for you. Like this is what's going on there. This is how I feel, and I don't really know what to do about it because I've been told many times like you're a lot, like to me, like you're a lot, you're too much, too open, and I'm like, I mean, maybe people should try it more, and it's helpful to be just honest and transparent, not in any way where you're making someone uncomfortable. Obviously, no one should have to feel that, but in America, for whatever reason, we tend to sugarcoat a lot and like hide a lot about how we really feel about mental health, weight issues, drug issues, alcoholism, mental blockage, maybe not following your dreams, but everything's okay. The littlest things to really big things.
Yeah.
Abuse, physical, verbal, child abuse, all these things that we're like, I don't know why it's like we have this pride of like we got to be this force, this country on this planet, so we can't be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I think it seeps into us as people, and I don't find it to be very good. And what I've noticed, I've had some fun hangouts and dinners lately with people. I like your hiccups; they're fun. From Eastern Europe, Eastern Europe. I know, right? Eastern Europe, onomatopoeia. From Eastern Europe, and their culture, from what I could pick up on, quite blunt, very straightforward, but not in a harsh, mean way. They don't mean anything by that. It's like they just don't have time to be like sugarcoating stuff, like making up stuff. Just like, I don't agree with you. They'll just straight up tell you stuff like that. Like, what, that shirt, like you're wearing a white shirt right now for people listening. Alan, that white shirt just doesn't look right on like your skin. What? You're like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
They're just telling you like what they think. It's not like they're not meaning it. You got to listen to them or in a negative way, but they're just telling you.
Yeah.
And at first it's off-putting. You're kind of like, damn, like, Jesus. But then I realized I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's almost like your mom or dad where they don't have to have a filter with you. They don't owe you anything, so they're just going to tell you. Or your grandparents, they're the worst. They just, Megan, I don't really like your glasses.
Yeah.
You should probably do something about that. You're like, Jesus.
Excuse me?
And then you look in the mirror and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Maybe I should.
You're right.
But then you got, a friends or something like, girl, you look good.
Yeah.
You're fine. Good.
Yeah.
That's an example, but there's a lot of versions of that. I think constructive criticism, a polite transparency is a good place, and I wish we had it more.
Yeah.
And you start to realize if you just talk to people, have a nice verbal and eye contact, you can exchange that and actually learn a lot about yourself and them too. But doing it through cell phones, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, what have you, doesn't work too well.
It doesn't.
It's a great place to promote and share, but it's terrible for communication. Awful. Right?
I completely agree.
It's why, like, probably why you said you feel you want to, like, get to meet people in person when it comes to like, dating, because you doing it through an app, you can eventually get to that. You can get to a first date where you can vet them and stuff, but it's many steps. And the vetting you can do in those steps, it's not as authentic as just being with the person.
Exactly.
You have to be like, maybe check out their social media, see how they look, see what they're doing, seeing like if they're okay, maybe Google their name.
Yeah, I feel like everybody does some light stalking when you meet somebody.
Oh, the ladies definitely do light stalking. Every woman. Yeah, so I just looked you up a little bit. I'm like, oh, great. Right? I don't really stalk at all. I don't have the same fears and threats in mind
that's real.
at all. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just don't. Which it sucks. I mean, it's pretty dark, honestly. I was having this conversation on a fun walk this morning with some friends. It was a guy and a girl. They're dating and they've been together for a while. But we were talking about like what women fear when meeting people on dates, romantic, and what men fear. And it's just so different. Like my friend and I were talking about it. Like, yeah, did you ever like the old school age, just like going up to somebody at like a club, bar, venue, someone that they catch your eye, just want to like maybe buy them a drink, just the classic way you met someone, right?
Right.
It's like, you ever just like that ultimate rejection when you just like go up to them and you're like, can I buy you a beer? And they go like, no, thanks. You're like, oh, you're like, you just feel like you got stabbed. But all that really happened is your ego just got a little smaller. For a second, it goes away, right? Women don't, so much worse can happen in a night than someone turn them down. Yeah. Like, their life can end. Like, they can have sexual assault. They can be drugged. Like, there's what men will face is so much less than what a woman has to think about. Like, why you vet in such a different way. You know, I'm sure there's a million things you go through when vetting someone that a guy's just like, is she hot? Is she cool? How tall is she? What does she look like? Okay. You know?
Yeah.
You know, like, if a girl were to show you, like a guy, like a friend, the date to check out, what's like the first thing you'd probably say? That might have been there. Oh, that clear your throat. I think I know the answer, but I want.
What do you think the answer is?
It's gonna be one or two things.
Okay. From
what I've heard and discovered. At first, it's like a two-parter. The first one might be lighter and might be like, well, what does he look like? And then go straight into like, what does he do?
Okay.
And by what does he do, I mean, that could be an even two-parter. Like, what does he do for a living? What does he do in general? Like, is he an artist? Does he do this? Does he play music? But what does he do for a living is such a big thing that I know for a fact. I'm not even generalizing. I've heard so many women say it to me, siblings, cousins, moms, aunts, women in every part of my life. They go to that place because I think it says a lot more about longevity, safety, protection, you name it. Stability. It says a lot about a person. Yeah. And men, 100% of the time go, what does she look like? And it kind of stops there. Yeah. What does she look like? Yeah. Tell me, like, you know, like that's it. What were you going to say?
I do think about looks sometimes.
Everyone does. That's totally normal.
I'm trying to think of like my specific experiences. Because I guess I've never had it based off of what I'm thinking about right now, because I might have and, forgot, but I don't think I've ever really had a situation that it was kind of like a blind date type thing or like somebody has like shown me somebody, Everything has been pretty much like I've met them in person around the person that I know or that around the person that we mutually know,
Mm-hmm. So I guess maybe then the first question to ask them when it came to getting to know them, would that be it? Like, what do you do?
No, I would just have a conversation and then it would come up, possibly. But yeah.
So. Possibly, hopefully. No.
Hopefully.
Interesting. Yeah, see, you're a tough cookie to crack because it's different circumstance. Yeah. Yeah, if it's and on a dating app, from what my friends have shown me, what I've experienced, it definitely goes way more towards a job, like right away. In fact, some of the matches you might get, it's because of the job you have. That's a big one too. Just kind of further showing how superficial the whole thing is. Yeah. 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 It's weird. It's dark.
I don't think I like actively, or maybe it's just the people that I've been with have been in decent spaces, but I don't think I've actively had to like dodge someone because of their job. Yeah. So I don't know that that's something that I like actively think about.
It could be an age thing too.
Possibly.
We're 7 years apart. Things change a lot once you get to my age.
Yeah, that makes sense.
People talk about different stuff. Marriage, kids, things like that. It's just different. Yeah. I'm trying to think of how in the world we got to this from where we started. Music, art, and now we're talking about the questions you asked when you first meet that date.
I think it came from like the introvert extrovert conversation.
You're right. Artist being introvert extrovert.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It definitely. I get a little in my head about it sometimes. I'm like, am I going out enough? Am I meeting enough people? Yeah. And most people go like, yeah, you are. But it's like, sometimes I'm not. I turn down a lot of hangouts to do like this stuff. This is a great example. A good friend of mine texted me, you want to come over and watch the game tonight? Yeah. The NBA Finals, right? Yeah. I'm just like, I would, but like, I'm doing a podcast. It's very normal for me to like not do a friend thing because of something like this, something fun and creative that I like to do. And I don't know, like, when is it too much? When am I, like, neglecting some type of social stimulation? But this is social stimulation to me. It's just not 6, 7 people, but it's a person I don't know that I'm getting to know and learn from, you know. But I never know, like, is it hurting me? Is it helping me? Like, how much time should we spend with people? We are social creatures. Like, how much time should we spend alone? I don't know. It's misleading because of social media. It's like, oh, I saw. You're almost like, did I see people today? It's like, no, I just looked on the internet.
Right. No, I think that yes, we should all like connect with people more, but at the same time, I am a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, or that everything has a purpose, rather. So I think that you're probably connecting with who you need to connect with at the time that you're supposed to connect with them.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you devote, like, through your day, do you devote a lot of time to work? Are you, like, really regimented with your jobs?
Yeah, for the most part.
And then social stuff just is secondary. Like, if it happens, it happens.
More or less, yeah. I mean, yeah, more or less. Like, certain things I'm, like, intentional about, like, if people have, like, you know, birthdays planned or something like that, you know. But, yeah, I'm pretty, you know, whenever it happens, I'm down. Like, if people reach out and, like, you know, oh, you want to do this, that, and third, most of the time I'm able to, like, move my schedule around if, you know, I need to, or I'll have, like, the freedom to just do it. So, yeah.
And have you, how many shows, you mentioned earlier how many shows you played, but I forgot, like, how many shows, you, like, as a musician that you've actually performed at so far? Like, a handful?
Like, actually
as a singer,
performed at, as in, like, not an open mic, or?
Yeah, not an open mic.
Probably, like, 3, maybe?
3. Okay, so you're just getting started in that one.
Yeah.
Cool. And do you, like, it's hard to balance playing shows and, like, having life, because it's a whole nother job. It's like a part-time job.
Yeah.
It's like why I kind of stepped back from doing it. I was in a couple bands.
Okay.
Stepped back from doing it to focus on doing more big picture stuff that just take up a lot of time. But does that, being busy with the other jobs, is that, like, worry you, like, making time to, like, put in that part-time gig of playing shows?
Yeah. I feel like I didn't feel the pressure of that as much until I released my album, because at that point I was just like, okay, I've released an album and now I have to, like, you know, now I have to play 50 million shows and, like, you know, promote myself and like, make more music and stuff like that. But then, like I said, I think that everything happens when it's supposed to. So I feel like I've calmed down a lot, especially this year, in general, and just, like I said, this whole music thing has been, like, kind of random and, like,
so
out of
funny.
left field.
It's so I've never heard someone say that.
Well, it wasn't like, I guess it's not actively random, but, like, it like I said, I've been singing all my life, so I mean, maybe it would have come out in, like, me being a background singer or something like that, you know. But when it comes to, like, oh no, I lost my train of thought again.
Singing, performing, the time that it takes to do the shows and events.
When it comes to the time, I feel like I'm getting done what I need to get done. And that, to me, looks different for different people.
Yeah.
You know, so, and I know in general, like, me as a person, I tend to be like a slow mover, or like slow bloomer. That's the word. Yes. So I tend to be like a slow bloomer in a lot of things. So I feel like that's just kind of a part of me, and, like, a slow burn type of person. So I am okay with not being on Instagram and having, like, 15,000 followers right now, you know, like, I and that's not my goal right now. If that happens, great.
Yeah.
You know, and if it doesn't, also great, because that just means it wasn't meant for me or what have you. But yeah, I'm really trying to focus on just, like, being in the moment, you know, and just taking everything one day at a time, because it can get a lot and be, like, really anxiety driving, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of the big goals you have as a graphic designer, for like the foreseeable future, maybe within the next year or two? What are some big goals you have?
I would want my company to be a little bit more solid because it's in the beginning stages still. So I would definitely want that to be more solid and to be able to work with more artists. Yeah, that's I guess like the main goal for the graphic design right now.
Just grow, reach more people,
Yeah.
and have a little more stability within it.
Yep.
Maybe get that to be like the main thing. Yeah. And then with music, what are some of the future goals for the next year or two?
I think that I want to create like an EP or something like that next. I feel like I'm trying to figure out what like the idea would be about behind it, because like Cycles kind of just came to me. So, but yeah, I feel like I would love to figure out an idea for a next project. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe like, perform some more as well. And like I said, I have my show coming up, but I, would like to do a couple more performances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who plays with you if you play live? Like how many
this
people
is like
do you have playing?
this will be the first show with the band, and I'm Soul Dial is playing with me. So yeah.
Cool.
Their whole setup.
Dang.
But
you should play a song with them at DC Fest.
I mean,
I just said that.
Opposed.
I just said that. I'll email them. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
Megan, she should hop on stage.
You should let her come through.
I'll allow it. So if they allow, like, you got the approval from anybody you need approval from.
All right, cool.
And it's recorded in YouTube, so
okay,
it's got to happen.
Okay.
I know. I wish I knew you before I would have had you play, but I didn't know you. But maybe next year.
Maybe. I would be honored.
Yeah, it's going to be in a different place next year.
Okay, cool.
I'll tell you about it off mic.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. And do you? I'm always curious about dance because it's very natural feeling. I like to dance too, not in any traditional way. I never took classes or anything. I just call it moving with style. What?
It's just a funny terminology.
Yeah, moving with style. A party, a gathering. If there's enough music, maybe enough alcohol. Yeah, I'll dance.
Yeah.
But what do you think it is with all your experience in dancing? What is it about dance that connects and drives so many people? Like from many different cultures. A lot of cultures have dancing as part of like a tradition.
Yeah.
They do. What do you think it is about that?
I think it's music initially.
Mm-hmm.
I think that music is literally everywhere, and like not even necessarily in a traditional sense, but even just like when you hear birds chirping and stuff like that, just like sound in general is like, and sound in general invokes some sort of feeling in people, whether that feeling be fear or that feeling be excitement or, like happiness or what have you, So I think that initial connection to sound then goes into your system and makes you like, feel these senses, and then your body just starts to react to it. So I think it's really that basic, but also it's a form of connection, that is, I mean, there's rules to dance, but there's also like not rules, and I think it's a form of connection that can be very like free and very like simple, without being too pretentious or like purposeful or what have you.
Yeah, it always does come off as a pretentious thing.
Yeah.
Especially ballet. Oh my God.
It's pretentious.
I mean, but what'd you say?
It's very pretentious.
Right?
Yeah.
So you probably dealt with a lot of that when you're growing up, being in ballet and people like being or being around people who are pretentious because you're in ballet.
Wait. Oh, you mean like the people who are in dance with me? Yeah. No,
Or yeah.
I feel like there might have been a couple people who are like really just like assholes, but for the most part, like the people that I danced with were like really down to earth, like good people. And I think that speaks to the studio that I danced at and the curation behind it, the artistic director and whatnot. I think that she cultivated a space that was not as cutthroat as most dance spaces are.
Got it.
Yeah.
You know what? That seems to be the problem with all like stuck up or arrogant or like just bad people is like the people in charge who cultivate the space.
Exactly.
The activity, the leader of a band, the person who curates an art gallery. It's like if they're just good people with good intentions, it seeps into everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just because something comes from money doesn't have to make it inherently bad.
Right.
Like ballet or opera or tennis or golf. The stuff we associate with like more money.
Yeah.
I think it's those people have been perpetuating like this weird stigma about it, but it's like it doesn't have to be. These are really cool things that any everyday people should enjoy. A lot of times it does have to do with like money, like financially, like what's more expensive, like a basketball at a park or a whole golf club. And like being able to afford to go to 18 holes.
Right.
Clearly, yeah, which sucks, but it's the same with like car racing. It's always people who have more money. Things that just you have to buy more stuff to do it.
Yeah.
But I hate that. It sucks because some of these sports are so cool.
Yeah.
I wish more people had access to them, you know? And dance is like, is it an expensive thing to do? I don't know anything about it. I say that up pure ignorance. I know like nothing about dance.
Okay, well, yes, it is expensive, especially ballet because point shoes, like, you know, being on your toes, that for some people, they have to buy point shoes like every 3 days.
Oh.
And point shoes are not cheap. Like, they're like hundreds of dollars.
Are you serious?
They're like, yeah.
I should
like
buy
they're
myself
really,
a
really
pair,
good ones. Just buy it.
Just for fun.
Of course.
I'm just going to the mall.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea. But yeah, no, point shoes are very expensive and their shelf life or their life while being used it varies. I was able to last for like a month, but like really me lasting for a month was really me lasting for like 3 weeks and then just struggling through that last week. Yeah. But
and so your parents had to spend $100 a month on shoes?
I didn't I think we like changed them out a little bit, but also when I was on point, it wasn't that early into like yeah, so I kind of
you like worked
had
your way
less,
up to it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I had like not that many years on point. It was probably maybe like 4 years at most.
What do you do before point?
Huh?
What do you do?
You just do like demi point, which is like the soft shoes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it.
Demi point. I didn't know. I'm not familiar with this terminology. Demi point. What else is there that I should learn?
I mean, you want to learn some dance terms?
I kind of do.
Okay, so there's like the actual movement of dance, or like.
You tell me.
Okay.
I know nothing.
Well,
I move with style. That's all I got.
All right.
So.
All right. So there's like pliés, and that's like when you're like, it's a plié is kind of like a squat in a way, but there's like different feet positions that you use, and that's like what determines like first position, second position, third, fourth, and fifth, and it goes. I'm pretty sure it only goes to fifth. It might go to sixth, but I don't think so. But yeah, so there's like pliés, and that's just like the bending of the knees, you know. All these terms are French, mostly. Most of the terms are French, yeah. And so there's relevé, that's when you're like rising on your calf, so you're like doing calf raises essentially. There's like port de bras, which is like the movement of the arms. So that's where you get like first position, like this thing, and like this, like first position.
That was a good crack.
Position. That was my shoulder.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm okay.
So how did you like the movie Black Swan? Have you seen it?
I don't think I saw the full thing. And when it came out, I think I was probably.
You were pretty young.
Yeah.
It was like 2010 or 11.
Okay, so I was probably like 12 or 13.
Something like that, yeah.
But I'm not a fan of scary movies, so I assumed that it would be a scary movie, and I didn't really watch the full.
It's a little terrifying.
But it's more like a thriller, though,
it's
right?
more like a thriller. At your age now, I'm sure you would. I think you'd enjoy the ballet part of it a lot. It's pretty cool the way they made it. It's beautiful.
I saw the ending, like, I guess, of it, so I know that it's not. It's a very like psychological like thing.
Yes.
But I do want to watch it eventually. But I feel like I'm gonna watch it like early in the morning.
I wake up at 6 a.m. Put on Black Swan.
No, that's too early. Like 9 o'clock. You know,
9
on a
o'clock?
Sunday.
The Lord's Day. Exactly. As long as I can do it on a Sunday, I can handle
Exactly.
any thriller. The Exorcist I watched last Sunday. I'm kidding. That's really, I like to watch thrillers at 9 a.m. on Sundays.
Yeah, you know,
it's got to be sunny out.
Exactly.
We're having lamb for lunch
and I'm
afterwards.
going to be outside while it's happening
Outside,
in the sun,
in the
you
sun.
know, with my wine.
You know, I'm trying to think of the earliest I ever drank alcohol. I don't like drinking early. It makes me like, well, I don't like it. I don't think it's a good idea. But even on vacation, I've never been able to do it before like 11.
Oh, really?
Maybe like a Bloody Mary at like 11, 10:30. You know? I can't do it. But I don't know why, because you brought up wine at 9 a.m. It's the Lord's blood on a Sunday. Yeah, that movie's intense. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that director, Darren Aronofsky, makes a lot of good movies. Requiem for a Dream, Mothers, I don't know, a lot of good movies. Wrestler, I think, Black Swan. And that movie made me intrigued by ballet. I didn't know anything about it, but all I've ever heard is just like how, like the point shoes, like how hard it can be on the toes and the ankles, you know? But man, I'll tell you what, people who are in ballet are so fit.
Yeah.
Like some of the fittest people I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, you're already on a more significantly leaner diet for obvious reasons, but then these movements, these exercises you do, they just build up all the muscle strength. Like it's all muscle, very little fat, and you're just so lean and tough. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's why you like to be fit and work out. Like it stuck with you. Like dance and ballet.
No, it did not stick with me.
It didn't stick with you?
I'm trying to be more active. Like I'm not like bad at it. Like, and I don't think that I'm like completely out of shape.
Oh,
but
earlier you're like, I like to like work out.
I do like to work out, but
Okay.
it just doesn't happen
Oh,
often.
Oh my God. You should have prefaced that earlier. You're like, yeah, I like to work out.
You know.
2 hours later. Well, I mean, I want to, but like, it doesn't really happen.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to be more active, and I've been more active like recently, like so.
What you waiting for? Let's go.
I honestly just get tired, like that's all, and then I'm just like I'm trying to like be more active about not like letting the sleepiness get to me and just like push through. But yeah, I just get tired, and so I'm just like I'm just gonna sleep in.
It's the morning thing. I like to do the workouts in the morning.
Yeah.
To get it over with. If I tried at night, I'm like, no, I'm too tired.
Exactly.
I can't do this right. I'm about to fall asleep.
Exactly.
Too, when you wake up, I like to do long walks, like body weight and dumbbell workouts at home. Like that's it.
Yeah.
If you just do it every day, that's all you need.
Exactly. That's I'm not trying to like be the next, you know, Serena Williams or whatever.
You're not?
No, I'm not.
A little too late, probably.
Exactly.
Actually, according to you, it's not, because you could just whip up records at 25
Yikes.
out of nowhere and be like, yeah, I guess I'm amazing.
Well, I mean, you know. Yeah, I'm not trying to do that, but I am just trying to just be fit in general and like, you know, do better with, I'm not like bad at eating. Like I eat pretty healthily, but I want to like get more into like foods and especially when it comes to being more intentional about what I eat for my voice, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you think the dancing burnt you out on being healthy and you kind of like fit in like exercising? So you kind of... No, it didn't do that for you?
When I went to college, I was doing stuff, but also I was like really, really busy when I was in college. And then outside of it, COVID happened because I literally had like maybe 6 months outside of college before COVID happened, you know? So, and then I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna work out a lot more. And it didn't happen because I was just in my room, you know? So it was just like, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to get done with college before COVID. I have students, I feel so bad for them, where they spent 2 years of their life, and like the best part of life, like 18 to 22, and you're stuck inside a dorm or your apartment or your parents' house. Like, oh,
yeah,
I feel so bad. seniors in high school, just having that taken from you.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I feel bad for anybody who's been sick or had some serious problems with being sick.
Right.
Like, I had COVID, and to be honest, I'm fortunate, but it was like absolutely nothing to me personally.
Yeah.
It's like I sneezed for a couple days. I didn't even know I had it until a roommate tested positive. And I was like, well, I should probably check it out, right? And I did, and I was like, oh, I'm positive, but like, I feel fine. Weird. But yeah, it's some people passed away from it. A lot of people did, and so that's terrible. But you know, you can't help but think of the effects it had on people mentally that are in those certain ages of school.
Yeah.
Senior year, prom, these things just completely gone. It's like, I mean, I didn't go to those things, but the fact that the option's taken from those who did or wanted to, you know. Yeah, I don't know. But here we are on the other side of it, kind of. Like, I think we've almost learned to just live with it. Maybe my personal growth from it has been be healthier, be nicer to each other, treat each other better, take care of yourself, take vitamins, eat cleaner, sleep better, exercise more.
Yeah.
If it was only weak for me because I take so much care of myself, then that shows like how important it is. Maybe that is. I don't know. Probably a factor, to be honest. I'm also younger. But yeah, I mean, that's all you can do. I mean, we also realize we can't live our lives hiding away in houses.
Right.
That also technically doesn't help our immune system. It's a weird catch-22.
Yeah.
You're like, stay inside, but like then everyone gets weak.
Yeah.
Like literally, you get weaker. You can't help it. So I don't know. I guess we've just learned to accept it, be more aware of your surroundings. If you are feeling sick, stay home. Like these little things we probably should have done before. I hope we're learning to do it.
I hope that never, like, just the being cautious thing, you know, never dies down.
No, yeah. Like, yeah, if you don't feel good at all, just don't go out. Stay home. Maybe we should invest in more like N95 masks when you do certain things go to airports and stuff like that.
Airports are completely open now, like completely open.
Oh, they bet, yeah.
And it's just like it's so weird to me because I'm like, I went to Florida like a month ago or so, and I got on the plane and I was like, wow, there's like nobody.
Not a mask, yeah.
Not a single soul. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't have an answer. I'm not a specialist. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a virologist. But I took what every sincere and important scientist said about health, from vitamins to food, diet, sleep, exercise. I just did all of it, and I've been just feeling great ever since. And
That's good.
Because I was like, there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
When there was nothing to do, like the first year, and it's just shut down. I was like, well, I got a house, I got arms, I got legs, I got force. I guess I'll just like start doing stuff all the time, stay outside in the sun. And I don't know, it helped a lot because it's either that or like go in and like stay inside and just lose your mind. I'm lucky to have a home to live in with people, you know, but yeah. But I'm glad that for you, an album came out of it. Like music came out of it, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Like, take such a terrible thing and turn it into something so great.
Yeah.
And it's really a great record.
Thank you.
I love it.
I appreciate
it. Any vinyl coming out of it?
I would like to.
All right. It's hard. It's expensive right now. Time consuming too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it happens.
Hopefully.
Is there anything you want to promote before we end this conversation?
My show is on July 2nd at Cole's Bar. Come through.
In Logan Square, right off Milwaukee.
Yes. I'm also, like I said, a graphic designer. So, you know, if you need any designs, Mega Graphics Design LLC is the place to go.
You said Megan Graphics Design?
Mega.
Yes. Oh, so close to Megan. Okay.
Yeah.
Mega Graphics Design LLC. Got it.
So that's like, I think that's it. Follow me on Instagram, I guess.
Instagram, Facebook.
I don't know. I mean,
so many artists say that. Nah, not Facebook. What's up with that? No, everyone's just like, I'm done with Facebook.
Facebook is for family and like
right?
people like that I know from, you know, like
Just say old people. It's okay. Well, it's okay.
You know. But no, some of my friends like
who are older are on it.
Yeah, you know. But Facebook is just,
it's so different.
It's so different.
It's weird. It is for family. That's when I need my family knows. I'm like, hey, this is happening.
Right.
And then when I want like the rest of my world to know it's like, hey, it's on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
What about Twitter? Are you that? You do Twitter?
No.
Me neither.
I have a
one.
Twitter.
Me too. I don't use it. Let me guess. Do you have a TikTok, but you don't use it?
I have an account. I shut it down because it is addictive to watch the videos. Don't remember the password. So
you could do the old, I forgot my password, and email me this code.
I tried that, and it just...
You gave
so
up.
It's not an account
That's a
anymore.
good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're trying to promote your music.
No, I'm good.
You're like, instantly, nah.
I'm not, like, I don't know if I'll ever have to get into that. And then that's the thing, like, when it comes to, like, being signed or something like that, I don't know if that's something that I really want. But
right.
I know I've been hearing a lot about artists having to, like, go viral on TikTok and stuff like that. And that's not important to me. So
yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I feel you. I don't really use it either.
Yeah.
I have one just so I can have a DZ Records one, but I don't. I post stuff once in a while. I don't think I even do it right, to be honest. Like I'm an old man. I'm like, do you tag on the video in it? Like, how's this? I need someone to walk me through it. I'll just admit that.
Okay.
But anything else you want to promote before we head out, Megan?
No, I don't think so. I think that's all.
That's it. Yeah. All right. I mean, it's been 2 hours.
Well,
Isn't that
it's
crazy?
been a great 2 hours.
Interesting. Went by fast.
It did.
Thank you for coming on and talking to me.
Yeah.
Putting up with ridiculous questions.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Of course. It was really fun to talk to you and get to meet you.
Likewise.
All right. Well, take care.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.